There are only 2 AI agents that I would actually sell first if I were starting over today, and I wanted to get to my first 10 grand as soon as possible. And I'm going to show you both of them, exactly who to sell them to, what to charge, and how to build the whole thing with Claude even if you've never written a single line of code in your entire life. And one of them makes a business money off of a list that they already have in their system that's just sitting there collecting dust, which makes it about the easiest yes that you'll ever pitch. So stick around because I'm going to show you that in 1 minute. And I'm not talking in theory here, because I built one of these agents for a real business, charged them $5,000 upfront plus $500 a month to run it, and 2 months later the owner told me that it had brought in over $50,000 in revenue for them. So this stuff genuinely works. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which one that you're going to go out and sell this week. Here's the thing though, and you have to get this part right because otherwise it won't matter which agent you pick. Most people getting into this think that they need to be some kind of technical genius. So they chase the most complicated, most impressive looking agent that they could possibly build. The one with 100 integrations that they can barely explain out loud. And then they finally get in front of a business owner and the owner's eyes just glaze over because the owner doesn't care how clever it is under the hood. The owner only cares about if it makes them money or saves them money. So the shift I want you to make right now is stop picking agents based on how cool they are to build and start picking the one with the most obvious and fastest payoff. Because that's the one that actually closes. And you don't need a team of developers to pull this off either, because Claude is your developer now. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works for both of these. I help builders and freelancers transition to AI consultants who close 4- and 5-figure projects and retainers and build something that actually lasts. So if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you might have. The link is down below. All right, let's get into the first one. So agent number 1 is the one that I would build first, and it fixes a problem that every single one of these businesses has, whether they'd like to admit it or not, which is that they're losing leads that they've already paid good money to get. And most of the time, they have no idea that it's even happening. Because picture a busy local business where the owner's out on a job. The front desk is buried, it's after hours, and someone reaches out who's ready to buy right then, and nobody gets back to them in time. So the person just moves on, and the business never even finds out that they were there. I built one of these agents for a business, and I want to walk you through what actually happened, because it's the whole reason why I would lead with this one. I charged them $5,000 up front plus $500 a month, and the agent followed up with every lead instantly, day or night, so nothing slipped through anymore. It ended up saving them about $1,600 a month versus what they were already paying someone to handle it. But the part that got the owner was when she told me that it had brought in over $50,000 in revenue in 2 months, purely because these leads were getting followed up with in seconds instead of sitting in voicemail for 3 days. So let that sink in for a second, because that money was always there. She was just losing it before anyone ever got back to them. And here's the part that most people assume that they could never do, which is building it. So let me show you how it actually goes with Claude. You build the whole brain of it in plain English, so you're really just describing how you'd want your best employee to handle a lead. What it says, the questions it asks, how it qualifies someone and gets them onto the calendar, and Claude puts that together for you. There's no code anywhere in this. You're telling it in normal words what great follow-up should sound like, and then it does exactly that every time without ever getting busy or tired or quitting on you. On pricing, I would do what I did, which is a setup fee plus a monthly retainer, so somewhere in the ballpark of $5,000 up front and $500 a month to maintain it. And you anchor the price to what they're already losing. So when you can show the owner that catching just a couple of the leads that they're currently losing will actually cover the whole cost, and it's cheaper than hiring a human to do a worse job at it, the decision kind of makes itself. And because it's a monthly fee, landing just a few of these gives you a steady income before you've sold a single other thing. So agent number 2 is the found money one. This is the one that I promised you at the very start. And this is honestly my favorite to sell, because it's about the easiest yes that the business owner will ever give you. What it does is it goes back through the CRM of old leads and past customers that the business already has just sitting in their CRM. The people who already raised their hand once and then just went quiet. And then it starts conversations with them again and it books them back in. And here's why I call it found money. With the first agent, you're catching new leads coming in. With this one, there's no new ad spend or no new traffic to go and chase. because every single one of these people already exists in a list that the business already paid for once and then just completely forgot about. So you're not creating anything out of thin air, you're just waking up what they already own, which means that it's basically just pure upside for the owner. Let me put real numbers on it the way I would on a call, because this is what makes the price feel obvious. Say you're working with an HVAC company that has 5,000 old leads just sitting in their database. And even if only 5% of them come back, that's 250 jobs. And at a $3,000 average job, that's $750,000 in revenue off of a list that they already wrote off as dead. So when I price a reactivation campaign, I'll charge somewhere between $2,000 and $8,000 depending on the size of the list, or I'll do something like $3,000 up front plus a cut of whatever it brings back. And when you hold that against a number like $750,000, the price stops being a question. And building this one with Claude is even simpler than the first agent. You have Claude write the whole message sequence that goes out to these old leads in the business's voice, the first message, the follow-ups, the way it handles, replies, and books them in. And then you let Claude Code put the actual campaign together that runs through their list. So the thing that sounds like the hard part, the writing and the building, is the part that Claude does for you while you just steer it. This is also the one that I'd point the absolute beginner toward first, because the results show up fast and they're impossible to argue with. When you run one campaign and real money lands in their account off of a list that they thought was worthless, you don't have to convince them of anything. The bank statement does it for you, and that becomes the proof that you can use to land the next 3 clients. So here's why I would sell these 2 specifically and leave those fancy, complicated agents on the shelf for now. Notice that both of them are about the exact same thing, which is the leads that the business is already losing. One of them catches the new leads that are already slipping through the cracks right now, and the other one brings back old leads that are just sitting there rotting in their system. So together, you're plugging a leak and then recovering what was already leaked out. They're both dead simple to explain in a single sentence. The ROI is fast enough that the owner notices it within the first month, and they both run on a monthly fee. So you're not starting from zero again every 30 days. And honestly, you could sell just these 2 and nothing else for a really long time and build a genuinely good business. Because every local business that you drive past today is bleeding new leads and sitting on a dead list at the same time. And they just don't know yet that there's someone out there who can fix both of those for them. Now, the one rule that makes either of these close, and I cannot stress this enough, is that you never sell the features, you sell the pain. So you don't walk in talking about CRM integrations or qualified knowledge bases, because that's exactly what makes the business owner's eyes glaze over. You walk in and say, hey, you're losing leads because nobody's calling them back fast enough. Or you've got thousands of old customers sitting there that nobody's ever gone back to. And I can fix that. That's the whole pitch. And getting in front of them is the same simple move that I always come back to, where you pick one niche and go deep. You find 10 of those businesses on Google Maps or local Facebook groups, and then you send a human message. Something like, hey, I help HVAC companies turn the leads that they're losing into booked jobs without hiring anyone. Would you be open to 15 minutes this week? You can even have Claude write those messages for you in their language so that it doesn't feel like a template. And then you just have to get one of them on a call and let them tell you what it's costing them. And I know what some of you are thinking, because I get this on every video. Lindsay, this sounds great, but I'm not technical and I don't have any clients yet. So let me tell you where I started. Because a year and a half ago, I was making 50 grand a year doing marketing for an insulation company. I had barely touched ChatGPT, and 9 months later, I had crossed $100,000 as an AI consultant. I was not a developer, and what I found out was that the building was never really the hard part, because the tools just get easier every month, and Claude does the heavy lifting now. So the actual skill is being able to find a business that has an expensive problem and just being willing to have a conversation. So that's the whole thing. These are the 2 agents that I would sell before anything else. They both go after the leads that a business is already losing. They both pay for themselves fast, and you can build both of them with Claude without writing a single line of code. So here's your assignment, and I mean actually do it and not just save this for later. Pick one of the 2 agents, and I would lead toward the reactivation one if you're brand new, because the wins come so fast and that becomes your first proof. Then pick one niche where a customer is worth real money. Find 10 of those businesses near you and send that message to every single one with the goal of booking just one conversation this week. That's it. It's free, and you can start the second this video ends. Because a year from now, you're either going to be the person who watched videos just like this and never sent that message, or you're going to be the person who sent the first batch of slightly awkward messages but now has clients paying them every single month. And the difference honestly is not technical skill. It's whether you go do the thing or watch one more video. So if this helped, go ahead and like it and subscribe if you want to learn how to make money with this stuff, because I drop a new one every week. Leave your questions in the comments and I will get to them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in